Okay, so I think I'm going to add a bit of burnt sienna as well, actually, especially in these shaded, or should I say darker areas. So I'm going to bring it down here where the two feathers meet, well, not two feathers, but all the feathers meet in the middle here. So I just want to get this in so I know where we are. And I'm going to fill in these darker spaces above the legs. Okay, and then a little bit up here. Let's put a bit in here where the wing starts. So it's all things just to make it a bit easier to know where you are, just to try and uncomplicate it, and hopefully I'm proving that you don't need a real detailed line drawing, because it really doesn't matter once you start filling it in. I mean, you can add the odd lines like I did, sort of individual feathers, just for the purpose to show the direction of where some feathers are going, just as a guide. But this is why I don't overcomplicate it with the line drawing anymore, because it's kind of it's a bit of a wasted time, in my opinion anyway. I know some people do like to do a much more, you know, thorough line drawing, but I personally think it can be a bit of a wasted time. Of course, everyone's different, that's how they work, so it's just my opinion. So I'm just putting in a bit more of the burnt sienna down this side where it's a bit darker. So I'm going to fill that in there. Okay, I've got a feather coming over the top of the wing here. I'll just put that in. Okay, right, let's go back to the chestnut now, and I'm just going to lightly cover the lighter areas, just very lightly. I don't want to fill it all in. also, because I'm using light colour, I've got my hand further up the pencil because I don't want to put a strong colour down. If I was like this, I'd be putting more pigment down, and I don't want that. I just want a light cover. Okay, right, so let's move on to the next colour. I've got the sepia 10% now. I'm using this to smooth it over, blend. I'm not going all over, but it's helping to blend it together and make it softer. I'm just putting it in places. So I've gone back to the chestnut now. So some of these feathers, they've got like this centre line running down them, so I'm going to put them in. Okay, now while I've got this colour, I'm just going to start adding a bit more colour again. This is where I'm kind of finding shapes and making them into feathers. It's kind of a bit of a magic trick. I'm just seeing shapes now, and I'm taking advantage of them and turning them into feathers. Okay, let's work a bit more on this side. Okay, now we definitely need more depth in there still, but I'm thinking a cinnamon might be a good addition as well. So I'm going to give that a go. So we've got the cinnamon here, the 189. I think this colour would work well, just to add a bit more colour in places. And then in some of these feathers you've got like a two-tone, which I'm going to put in with the cinnamon. I think that's worked quite well. So now I'm going to go back to the walnut brown, just to darken up some areas. This side needs to be darkened up quite a bit more. I should have filled that bit in really, but we can go back to that, that's fine. I'll get a bit more burnt sienna. Just put this a bit more in place, especially down the bottom here. Okay, and then what we can do now is let's get the mono rubber, clean that off a little bit, and we can start putting in the little fluffy bits of the feather. And we can lighten some areas as well where we want to, not taking all the pencil off, but just a little bit here and there. And we've got a fluffy bit around here. Put it there, it doesn't have to be in the exact same place. Okay, let's give that a brush down. Right, going back to the sepia 10, and I'm just going to fill those in. I'm going to use the dark sepia now. Let's fill this area in. I don't know why I missed that out. So I'm going to go to the warm grey 2. Okay, and then let's go to the burnt ochre. Wherever that's gone. It's got the burnt ochre. And then we've got the chestnut. Let's get a bit of burnt sienna. They're very similar in colour. More walnut brown in. Okay, now let's go back to this mono rubber, because we've got a little flyaway type feather coming across here. And then let's get the sepia 10 back, and we just go over that. Okay, I might do a bit more of that down here actually, so let's get this mono rubber back. Actually a bit more here. That's it. And back with the sepia 10. Okay, pretty happy with that. I think that's okay. I think once we get the wings in, because they're darker as well, we can see if this needs revisiting. I've got a few feathers down here to do, but they're a bit lighter, which we probably could get in now. So let's get the warm grey, let's get the warm grey 2 again. Let's just pretty much do the same. Let's get this bit in here done as well. Okay, so just before we come down here, I just want to do this side of the neck area. So I've got the light ochre in the Pablos, so it's the same colours as I was using around there. I just want to get this bit in here. And I'm going to go back to the brown, or the burnt ochre, sorry, in the Polychromes. I think let's try the walnut brown. There you are. Just darken around underneath there. Let's try a bit of nougat. That I did use that before, didn't I? I've got a bit of nougat here just to give it a bit more of a browny colour. Okay, let's give that a brush. Burnt sienna. Okay, and I think that'll be all that's needed there. Just put, oh, not that one, a bit more walnut brown. Okay, right, oh, dropping my pencils. So let's come down and do this left wing. So I'm going to get the walnut brown and I'm just just going to put the dark areas in first. So we know where we are. Right, let's try and work this out. So okay, and then we've got the front part of the wing. Just trying to work out where everything is. So I'm doing a bit of guessing work here, but I'm looking back at the reference photo. Move my picture down a bit, it's a bit too high. Okay, so we've still got some feathers just up the top here. I'm just going to fill in some darker areas just to try and uncomplicate it a little. Just whatever works really for people. Take that out actually a little bit. I think I've come down a bit too far with that one. Okay, and then we've got a little feather there. Let's just put that in. So it's just working out where everything is, try and simplify it. Okay, let's start filling that in. Okay, so we've got the burnt ochre here, so we're going to use pretty much the same colour palette as we did on the chest area. So I've got the burnt ochre here, and I'm just going to fill in pretty much most of the area. Okay, hang on a minute, so that's all dark through there. So I'm just trying to work out where I am on here. So we've got that bit there. Let's fill this in. I'm going to leave that bit because that's more of the feathers. So So the mono rubber is as useful as the pencils, really, because you get a lot more of the details in with the mono rubber as well, so which is what I'm going to do here, I think. So obviously it doesn't look anything like a wing at the moment, but we'll get there. So this area down here, the inside the feathers here, I'm going to use the cold grey 2. I'm just going to take a little bit out there. That's it. And then go back in with the cold grey 2. So I'm just plotting colours at the moment, and then we can worry about a bit more detail. Okay, so I'm going to go to the chestnut colour, which we've been using a lot of. And I'm just sort of plotting shapes here and there, really. And then it comes down here and then it gets quite dark. Come back up here. Okay, let's go to the walnut brown. Right, let's start darkening. I'm going to probably use the sepia or the black as well, but let's start trying to get this more shaped. This bit here. So I'm just mapping out the darker bits just to understand what's where. Let's bring that down here a bit, but I'm using lighter pressure. So I just want to get the mono rubber. I just want to keep this clean. It goes with that one there. So it's a bit complicated, but just do your best. That's all you can do. Take your time and it will all work out. So I think I've got most of the darker areas in. Let's just put a bit more in here actually. We've got a little break of feathers here. And I'm just going to run that down the side. Okay, then we'll just run it a little bit up the side here, just so that we can see that this is the back of the chicken here and this is the wing. I'll have to sort this bit out in a minute. Okay, right, let's get the let's try the dark sepia, sorry, the sepia 10%. I'm just going to run that down the bottom here. Get the mono rubber. Just going to run that down this bit here and then go back to the sepia. Okay, let's go with the sepia, dark sepia, 175. We start darkening areas. Hopefully it will make a bit more sense. Now this isn't exactly the same as the picture. I don't want it to be. It's just my interpretation of the chicken. As I say, this is just a nice relaxing drawing. Okay, so that's quite dark in there. And while I've got this dark sepia, we've got a few different feathers here, so I'm just going to put that in with the dark sepia. And I'm going to get my mono rubber back. I need to give it a clean. I'm just going to add a few little highlights. Let's go back to the chestnut. Let's just fill this in a bit more. Okay, let's bring that down here as well. Just finish off the top of his leg there. Now I do need to make this area darker actually. think about what colour would be good. Okay, so to darken this area, I'm going to go with the violet brown. It's good for darkening up oranges and browns, and thought we'll give it a go, see how it comes out. Okay, let's use a bit this side. Okay, and then I think I'll run the walnut brown over. Okay, let's fill in this bit. I think we're more or less done here, but let's get this last bit here. So I'm going to go back to the warm grey 2. And then I think the cinnamon would be good next. So I'm going to make some feather shapes. We've got them coming over the wing, top of the wing up here. Okay, let's go with the burnt ochre, I think. Just fill them in. Okay, let's get the chestnut back. Yeah, let's get the chestnut back. I was thinking of the burnt sienna. I'm just going to put a bit of the chestnut over the top. I want a bit of that up there actually. Okay, now I'm going to get the mono rubber. Give that a clean, that's it. Bit of a clean again. I'm going to use that for some detail along the side here. We've got some little feathery bits on the side. Okay, while I've got this, I'm just going to tidy up a couple of bits here. Let's go back to the sepia 10. I'm just going to fill them in. Let's get the black, and then I think that's pretty much it down that side. So just darken up where needed. And go back to the dark sepia, because I just want to, actually I'm going to go to the walnut brown again. Just want to darken this bit here. That's it, and then darken down here a bit more. I'm just getting rid of any sharp lines now, just blending it a bit more. Okay, I'm just going to get the black again, just to do down here. It's quite dark down here. Okay, and I think that's pretty much it for that side. Then we can get started on his right wing. So we're going to do pretty much the same. So over this side it's a bit lighter, so I'm going to go with the warm grey 4, the 273, so it's a warm grey 4. I'm just going to do the darker bits first, so we can understand this wing a bit more. Pretty much the same as what we did on the other side. Right, so we've got 3. Hang on a minute, I'm getting a bit confused. So we've got this big back one here. We've got another one coming down. That's it. Okay, and then we've got 3 coming down here. So I've got a line there from the line drawing, and I'm not quite sure why. It's not really making a lot of sense. We've got one there. Let's come down here. that looks fine. Okay, so we need to take that up a bit higher. So now we know, you know, different parts of the wing. We've got the lines in. We can start filling it in. So let's go with the warm grey 2 first. I'm just going to fill it all in. Just going to go back to the warm grey 4 just so I can put these centre pieces of the feathers in. Got that one there. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, we've got a bit of a feather here, so let's put that in now. I'm going back to the burnt ochre. So we've got a bit here. And we'll come back to that in a moment. Okay. Go to the chestnut again. I'm just going to fill in the edges of the feathers. Put a bit in there. So I'm just putting the undertones in at the moment before I darken it all up. Okay, let's go to the walnut brown. Okay, so this bit in here is quite dark. And then as I come out towards the front, I'm using less pressure. Put that line in again so we don't lose it. Okay, let's darken it up here. Okay, and then we've got to start with another feather here. Okay, let's come back up the top here. Let's refine this area. Coming down there. So it gets a bit complicated, but just take your time. Just work out where everything is. So you haven't got to copy the photo exactly, unless you want to, of course. Okay. Now I want to find another colour for the inside of the feathers because it's like a purpley tone. So I need to find a colour that I think will go. So let's try with the warm grey 3 first. Okay, then we've got a white bit here, so I'll probably take that out of the rubber actually. Okay, let's do that now. So I'm just going to get the mono rubber, get that clean. It's quite mucky. Just put that line back in. Okay. Then I'm going to go to the sepia 10. I'm just going to go over the warm grey 3. And it will help soften and do that purpley hue colour. Okay, what I might try actually is a little bit of the violet brown again. Just a little bit here and there. Got the sepia 10, I just want to fill this little bit in. Okay, let's go back to the, let's have a look. Let's go for another warm grey. Let's have a look. Warm grey 5 here. Remember to put these lines back in the centre of the feathers. let's put a bit more on this feather. Okay, let's do this feather here. So let's go with got the cinnamon here, but I don't know, that's not going to be any good. Let's go with the chestnut. Okay, I'm just going to go back to the walnut brown, just shape that a bit better. It's coming over. I might just carry on with that walnut brown, just run it down the darker bits. Just get the black, just to do this bit in here. I don't do too much black, but right on the inside of his wing it's quite dark, so okay, let's put a bit up there as well. I think we're pretty much there then. Okay, I think we can start with the feet now. I'm just going to put in a bit this side. And run a bit over here. I'm just using light pressure because I don't want to take out the colours that I've put there. I just want to darken it a little bit more. So I'm just running the black over. Okay. I'm just going to go back to the chestnut quickly. I just want to define this area a little bit more. And also, I think what I will do, which will also help, I'm going to get the terracotta. If I can find him, I had him a minute ago. Oh, there it is. I've got the terracotta here, and I'm just going to run it over the chest feathers in places, just here and there. And it just brings it forward a little bit more. Okay, let's get on with these little feet. We're pretty much there now. So I'm going back to the cream, which is what I've used on the other feet. Let's just fill the whole area in. Okay, and then we went with the cardamom yellow, the dark cardamom yellow, the 108. Okay, I've left the middle because we've got quite a lot of highlight there. Okay, let's move on to the next one. And we're keeping it nice and simple. We worry about the claws once the little background's in. Okay, that'll be fine. I can't remember what colour we used now, but I think go with a bit of cinnamon. Not cinnamon, sorry, the burnt up sienna. Just in the darker areas of his feet. Put a couple of little lines in, so we're just keeping it nice and simple. Okay, I think I'll add a bit of burnt ochre as well, just to give it a bit more of an orange tinge, especially around the toe area. That's pretty much all I'm going to do. Let's get them on a rubber. I don't want to take too much out, but we just put a few little highlights in. I will get the walnut brown actually. I just want to do a little bit of darker areas just around the toe bit, or where they separate, sorry. Okay, and just put it down the side here because that's quite dark there. I just want a line here, and I think we're pretty much there. So we'll put the claws in once the background's done. Right, okay, so let's get this part of the wall in. I'm going back to the beige here, just for the underlayer colour. I'm not entirely sure if this was the colour I used along here. I can't really remember, but it doesn't really matter. It's going to be darkened up anyway. Let's take that out a bit further so it doesn't look like he's falling off. Actually, I'm going to take that bit out underneath. I had to do the line drawing on two separate pieces. I don't want there to be a line there. So if you do these chickens, you can obviously put them on some grass, or you know, you can do whatever background you wanted, of course. Okay, and then I think I did stick with the Pablos on this wall, I'm not sure. I'm going to go to the cocoa now. I don't want a line there because I've got the other piece there, so I'm going to leave that until I finish. I don't want a straight line coming down. Okay, I'm just going to get the kneadable rubber and just use it to put this highlight bit in through the middle. I don't want a straight line, so the needle rubber will make it look a bit more natural looking. It will just take some of it out. Okay, I think that's it. Let's go to the dark sepia. Okay, and then we use the cocoa, I believe. There you are, just in places. Going to get the beige back. I'm just going to go over that so we haven't got just the film showing. I want to put a bit. I want to put something in rather than just leave it bare. Okay, and then I'm going to go to the sepia 10. And this will just help soften what I've just done with the Pablos. give that a bit of a brush so we get these claws in. So let's get the mono rubber. Oh, just lost a little bit of rubber. That needs changing. Okay. It's a lot easier to put them in afterwards. And then I'll get the warm grey one, I think. It's not very sharp, but it'll be fine. Just to put a bit of something in. Put a bit of cinnamon in as well, just to give it a bit of a pinky colour here and there. And then with the cocoa, all I'm going to do is just define the little claws off there, just so you can see them a bit more. And I think that's pretty much it. I hope you've enjoyed it. I know I only showed the last two of the process, but I hope that you can take something away and you know, you've enjoyed it. So if you need the line art or the reference photo, do please message me and let me know. I'll be more than happy to send it. And if you do give it a go, do let me see. I'd love to see what your version is. It's the same picture, but everyone does their own version, don't they? So it's always nice to see other people's interpretations. But I have to say I've really enjoyed this actually, and I'm definitely going to do another one, but I think I'll just do the one next time, and with a bit more detail of course, and I'll share it on YouTube, and hopefully that will be quite soon. And yeah, as I say, I really hope you've enjoyed it, and thanks for watching, and hope to see you on the next one.